They say you never forget how to ride a bike, but they never warn you that there might be an update that changes everything about the bike. Such is the case here. In the interest of avoiding burnout, I decided to return to a classic game, Sandbox. A lot of you will not be familiar with this game, but I recommend it wholeheartedly. It doesn't seem very advanced on the surface, but once you learn the tools, there's quickly a world of opportunities. Even I haven't reached all 4 corners with mechanics in this game, but I'm just glad I don't have to gather money every time I want to build. Not mentioning any names. Can you imagine a game where it cost you $100 to place a cube? So originally, I completely missed the fact that so much in this game is configurable, meaning that extremely small details are now possible. But you have to know how they work before you can really take advantage of them. So I decided I'd start small. I originally had a house lined up to build today, but as I did with the Houghton house, I want to ease myself back in, relearn, and then start going wild. So I just started with a frame for a painting, and I wanted it to be elegant. Then I realized I could really test the game by building out the room as well to find what's new. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Something I forgot about Sandbox, but incredibly appreciate here, is the expand system works on pivots rather than expanding both sides. It's just one of those things that you don't realize that you missed until it was gone. We do some fancy trim, lots of layers. A bonus here I didn't really take advantage of, since I didn't really feel it was needed, is that we can individually color any part of this trim. We also control all the proportions here, but so much control can really be daunting to some, myself included. But this is actually incredibly rewarding when you reach a final product, and obviously would leave you more in control of said product. So here's my idea for the room, right? There'll be 2 bookcases, painting in the center, along with some fancy insets in the wall. I know, bold stuff. We go from building an entire city to building a room, but it's the march of progress. We can't do the advanced stuff if we don't learn the basics now. So I'm going to build out the bookshelf, and there really isn't a template here. I'm just kind of using intuition, which admittedly sometimes gets me into trouble. But let's just move on to the painting. I've done a ton of paintings in this game in the past, but I want to use the new tools here. Originally it was going to be the Mona Lisa, which I still think I could have done, but in the interest of saving myself the stress, I opted for an abstract piece. It isn't at all me just randomly doing things. No. This is real art. Real art has circles, so we're gonna add them. The old-fashioned way. That's right, this is how we do semicircles. It really wasn't worth the time. I don't know why I did that, but they did show me something useful that we will use later. Before we get to that though, I will just create a few potted plants. Yes, those are toilets as the pot. No, I'm not gonna explain. This is probably levels of degeneracy only Gregory would reach, but even he would have standards, but hey, it's a different shape and it gets the job done. Alrighty, I think we can take off the training wheels. Let's challenge ourselves a little bit. Let's build a globe. My first idea involved resizing a sphere as the base and as the sea, and then using rods as the land masses, but I couldn't figure it out, so I got a better idea. Now, I know this looks like a mess, and it is, but I promise it will look better. You just have to look at it at the right angle. Honestly, I'm shocked at how well that turned out. I was half expecting to have to delete it and try something else. I think this is me redeeming myself from the mess that was the terrain video. So now that that's done, we're just going to fill out the bookcases and the rest of the room. Should be pretty easy. Now, I'm sure you guys know the feeling, but this game just feels so familiar to me. Like a second home. Even with all the new features and game-changing updates, it still feels oddly the same. It hasn't really lost its charm to me. Feeling like I just arrived home, I will make this room a natural extension of that home. We will make this room a home. I've always wondered what I'd do given a home in the real world. How detailed would I be? Well, what designs would I prioritize? What's the maximum amount of detail I can achieve without breaking the bank? And most importantly of all, am I even qualified to make such leaps? From finishing trims to build-ins to floor patterns to window decor, there's so much potential for tweaks and personal touches, but what should we prioritize over the others? And how long will it take? You know, there's a couple in Russia that have been working on a single film since 1981. They've only reportedly completed 25 minutes of animation in that time span, always going back and correcting elements and redoing things over and over again. While the final product is going to represent the best of what they want, I don't want my future house to be like this. I'd like to be happy with what I'm able to do, and only correct what's needed. Just imagine hand-rotting all the iron gates and decorative railings, selecting your own stonemasonry and its order, and most importantly of all, giving people the experience of the home. It's in the experience for me. Knowing all the craftsmanship that went into the 40-year film would make me appreciate it a lot more. The issue is, decisions wear on you. Mark Zuckerberg, the creator of Facebook, gave some pretty good advice in this regard. I think about it a lot. And this is going to be all the praise you'll hear from me in his regard, but I digress. He made a point about his wardrobe, that all of his clothes are the same to not have to waste energy deciding what to wear into work. And it's something to be mindful of. Every decision, no matter how small, uses up some of your processing power. Even when faced with a single room, there are a ton of decisions to be made. Hence why I followed intuition on the bookcases. We can assume certain things, or we can fall back on old favorites. Old reliable. Because not everything we do should need to redefine the genre we're working in, but we certainly want to express ourselves in that final product. Hence why everyone is encouraged to have diverse interests. Things you learn in one space can affect your work in another. It's just about how much you apply yourself, and how much money you have. That would certainly help. That's half the battle. If I'm working full time, when in the world am I going to find the time to do all this? But ultimately, every build you do brings you closer to the future. And with every one, you're further from where you started, bringing you closer to the top. And it isn't as if you have to close all 4 walls or build an entire house. You can express yourself with a single wall. Life isn't giving you a to-do list, it's giving you a list of experiences for you to choose from. Ultimately, it's your choice what to do with it. That's the most important decision of your day.